Hey guys, Jeff here with the Common Sense Camper. Alright, this is another video. I'm going to continue on a series of videos where I am trying to merge some of the ideas, technologies, and gear from ultralight hiking and merging that with bushcrafting. So my goal here obviously is to reduce my pack weight but still have all the tools and you know, the things that make it fun to be out bushcrafting. I am not someone that is going to go out in a month and go hike the Appalachian Trail, but I've done a lot of research, a lot of reading, I've watched a lot of videos on the ultralight backpackers, and it's pretty amazing what they've come up with to reduce pack weight. So I'm trying to merge that with my bushcraft system, and obviously I'm doing it to reduce weight in my backpack. So this video here, I'm going to review my fire kit. Now, a fire kit is very important to a bushcrafter, and I know that there are a lot of guys out there in the bushcraft community, including myself, that have some pretty heavy weighted fire kits, and they include magnifying glass and, you know, char cloth and metal tins and, you know, pouches that weigh, you know, 10, 12 ounces, just the pouch alone. Flint and steel and ferro rods, large ferro rods, you know, 7 inches, and you know, they probably weigh half a pound. And so the kit that I put together, although is kind of small compared to a typical bushcrafter, it's pretty large and significantly heavier than what an ultralight backpacker would carry. I mean, usually they're just going to carry a lighter, maybe a couple matches, and that's going to be it. But I wanted to find a happy medium. That's the purpose of this series. So we're going to go to the tabletop. I'm going to show you what's in my fire kit, how I reduce some of the weight in my fire kit, and we'll throw it on the scale and see where we're at. Alright, let's take a look at the fire kit. Now this is a lightweight ripstop nylon bag, and I actually got this from my ribs pack. It's one of those chest packs that you wear, and it came in this bag. So I switched out. What I'd normally use would be like a metal container, which is pretty heavy, or I would use like a Maxpedition fatty pocket organizer, and by going to this ripstop nylon bag, I've reduced the weight significantly right there. So let's get all the contents out here. I'll show you what I have. So there's the bag, and kind of separate this out so you can see what's in here. So another thing that was a huge savings on weight is, instead of taking my, I think it's like a 6 or 7 inch ferro rod, which weighs almost a half pound, I went to a smaller ferro rod. Now this is still a pretty good sized ferro rod, but I cut my weight in half by switching to the smaller one. And the next thing I have in here in a baggie is char cloth. I have some aluminum foil, some lamp wick, and then I have some pine resin in the smaller baggie right here. So in hindsight, I probably should have taken the char cloth and put it in a smaller Ziploc so it didn't get everywhere, but you know, when I'm out bushcrafting, I'm filthy anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. And typically this would all be in like a metal container, an Altoids tin. So now that it's in a bag, again, I've reduced the weight there. I also have a Bic lighter. I usually carry 3 of these. I'll have one in my cook set, I have one typically in my pocket, and then I have one here in my fire kit. And what I've done is I've taken inner tube tire and just wrapped it around the head of the Bic lighter. 2 reasons. 1, keeps it watertight, and 2, I also can start a fire with this, they call it Ranger band, but it's just old inner tube out of a bicycle tire. Next thing I have is my backup blade, and this is just simply one of those classic Mora knives, and I like this for really small tasks. It's wicked sharp. This is the carbon steel version. I have not sharpened the spine yet, but I do intend on doing that. but I have other things in my pack that I can strike a ferro rod with, including my Mora companion knife. So this is my backup blade, and I keep it with my fire kit. The next thing I have is, normally I would carry a couple dozen pieces of fat wood, but I found for 3 days and 2 nights, or even as long as 4 days and 3 nights, that unless the conditions are just really bad, I can usually get 5 to 6 fires out of one of these sticks by batoning them down and using them very sparingly. And what I'll do in unison with the fat wood, if it's really wet out, is I will use a trioxane tablet. So I have 4 of these in here, and watch my other videos. You'll see that I am a firm believer that this is probably by far the best fire starter out there. And the nice thing about this is that it will take a ferro rod very quickly. You just cut the package open. I like to kind of take the tip of the knife and just scrape up some little crumbs, strike it with the ferro rod. And what I really like about this over a lot of the other fire starters out there is that this thing gets really hot really fast, and it lasts a good long time, which allows me to heat up the smaller pieces of kindling to get the fire going. So I have 4 of those. These are just folded up. I probably had it in a different pack. So this is my fire kit, and I found that this works really well. It's lightweight. It doesn't leave me wanting anything. Now, if I want to, practice my skills, obviously I'm going to take my full fire kit. I'll take the magnifying glass. I will take the flint and steel. I will practice bow drill skills. But for what I do when I just go out and I'm just bushcrafting, having a good time, this is what I'm going to take, and it works really well. And again, for an ultralight backpacker, this is ridiculous. In fact, an ultralight backpacker would probably only carry this. But being a bushcrafter, and that's kind of my passion, I'm trying to marry the two and lighten the pack load, and I'm very comfortable with this. So let's get this put back in the bag, and we'll throw it on the scale and see what the weight is. Alright, so I'm going to put all the contents back in here. Now I'm going to weigh the knife separately, just in case someone doesn't want to include the knife in the pack or in the fire kit. Alright, so we're at 0 there. And so this weighs 8.4 ounces. And then if I include the knife, that's going to take me to 11.2 ounces. So that is my fire kit. This is Jeff with the Common Sense Camper, camping out.